Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Today I have someone from Sundered with me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I am that someone. I'm Rodrigue. Rodrigue. I am the communications and marketing guy for Thunder Lotus Games.
Very exciting. And we are going to obviously play their newest release, Sundered, which came out July.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. How has it been so far?
It's been very well. We had some little retooling to get through at the beginning, and there have been a few technical issues, but otherwise we've had a lot of great reaction.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're happy with that.
Do you want to just explain the game to anyone who might not know what this is?
Absolutely. So this is Sundered. We're saying Sundered is a horrifying fight for survival and safety. And it's a replayable Metroidvania game, which is entirely hand-drawn by the people who did Jolted, which is a hand-drawn Viking game I came into years ago. So in it, you play Esh. Esh is a wanderer in this ruined world, you see. And as the game starts, you are just walking through a sandstorm, and you are eventually going to Yes, go ahead.
I didn't even know I could move. I'm sorry. Also, the audio sounds weird, you guys, let me know. Sorry, just continue.
So here it is. Esh is, say, a nomadic sort of mechanic in the end times. Things are not going well, and here she is out seeking a friend that has gone missing, and she gets trapped in the sandstorm, this mysterious sandstorm that she doesn't know. So as it starts, you're just trying to trudge through it, and then seeing all that it played.
Excited. Oh. Full disclosure, everyone, I have not played this yet, so you're discovering it with me. Unless you played it before, then I'm just discovering this myself. Oh, what? Oh, what the? Did you just die?
You just got trapped.
Ah, no!
So you play Esh, and Esh has been trapped in these mysterious caverns that you see here. And the game starts, and you just sort of have to, find your way through it. But eventually you're going to be beset by monsters on all sides, and you have to fight through it. So as the game progresses, you're going to have to decide whether this mysterious dark power that is keeping you in these caverns and say creating these terrible monsters that you're going up against, you're gonna have to decide whether you. I'm not saying anything. I ain't saying anything.
It's okay. I got this.
You do. It gets a little harder. But yeah, so you're gonna have to decide whether you resist or embrace the dark power of these caverns.
Oops. Told him this before, you guys, but I'm real bad in Metroidvanias. Like, oh no, okay. Oh. Okay, I can't fight them yet.
Not yet. You don't have a weapon yet. And this is, we've had this in testing a lot as well. Dodging is central to this because you get swarmed by hordes of enemies, right? So sometimes flight is better than fight. Sometimes dodging is better than a full-on attack. And so when you dodge, you're invincible. So you just have to learn how to use that.
Let's see. If you guys have any questions, by the way, feel free to throw them in chat, and I will ask. Hey Riftblade, welcome back to the stream. Hope you've been doing well. I'm playing Sundered, in case you guys, in the description, so you should know. And people can get this on Steam and PS4?
Steam, PS4, and basically any PC outlet, electronic outlet known to man. We're on Steam, we're also on GOG, we're on Humble, we're on Origin, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch.
Yeah, you guys can get this right now on Twitch.
Yeah, we haven't seen any numbers for that, but we're going to assume that not many people have really realized that you can buy stuff on Twitch. But we're interested in this.
Riftblade says, "Hi Sundered guys, love the game, don't own it, but I did play an alpha/beta."
Alpha/beta, how did that go? Okay, so here goes. You fall into these caverns, and this mysterious amorphous shape called the Shining Trapezohedron talks to you and says, "Okay, well, stick with me here. I will be your weapon, and I'll help you get through these caverns." And but the voiceover really makes it sound like it doesn't sound like a nice guy.
Okay.
But so he's your constant companion through it. He is your weapon, but he's also trying to goad you into embracing the dark power of the cavern. So if you resist, you're not just resisting the power, but also this presence.
Mr. Saxophone says, "Why no Xbox?"
Why no Xbox?
Okay,
We
question.
love Xbox, and we like to be clear about this. We had a previous game called Jotun, and we brought it onto all 3 consoles. The reason that we launched on 1 console this time is that the nice people at Sony offered us marketing support in exchange for exclusivity, which will end at a certain point. We can't say when that is, and nor can we say whether or when Xbox and or Switch and or whatever other console might be out there. Sundered might be close. So for now, it's exclusive to PC and PS4, and we'll wait and see what the future holds for any other platform.
Dates to come. Yeah, so we don't know too much about the story so far.
No,
but
it's sort of piecemeal fed to you throughout the game. But mechanically, it's at its core, it's a classic Metroidvania. It was when we started designing it, it was to be sort of our love letter to Super Metroid and Rogue Legacy. So we built on that. We did a few interesting things. And one of those things is the procedural generation. So you're going to have like main runs like this. You see like in the mini map and in the main map, you're going to have these, say, purple squares, and those are always going to be there. But when you die, say the gray square right over it, that is regenerated. So you have to find your way back to these places. So that's one way in which it's sort of like a non-linear and kind of a high variety experience. But compared to something like Rogue Legacy, you are upgrading your character each time you die. You are becoming stronger each time you die. So it's and in these particular moments where you're say picking up a new ability, well, once you get it, you have it.
Right. So how many similarities in terms of gameplay would you say this has with Jotun?
A few? Actually, for those of you who are familiar with Jotun was a kind of an action exploration game. It was like very much like Shadow of the Colossus. And you would walk through these landscapes and look at the pretty backgrounds and hear the character narrating, the Norse mythology that you were showing, and then you come up against a huge boss and kick your ass. That was basically the gist. And we were pretty proud of that game. It was our first game, and we delivered it on time and on budget, and it was a pretty good game. But we know it wasn't perfect. So we wanted to keep what we thought were the best parts of Jotun going into this. We have a team of brilliant artists.
I was gonna say that the art is fantastic.
So core to what we do is this hand-drawn art. Like it's hand-drawn and animated, like frame by frame. It's incredibly good. And I say this as a guy who came onto the team as a fan of Jotun. Things like, wow, there are no games that look like this. And when I finally met these people, it's one art director and one main animator, and they each have one helper. And these 4 people created every visual thing that you see, and it just blows my mind. the art director, his name is Joanny, just conceived conceived the character, conceived the visual aspect of the world, all the monsters, all everything, and the animator takes that vision and says, okay, so here's how this thing moves, and then proceeds to draw out at record speed every single frame that you see. It's really spectacular. So yeah, as far as what we wanted to take from Jolton goes, like we wanted to make sure that it was visually spectacular. We also wanted the world to be immersive, similar to Jolton was. We have the sound and music design sort of brings it all together, but there's like little details here and there throughout the game that tie the world to make it feel more alive.
Yeah.
And the third thing is the boss fight. So that was the most memorable thing about Jolton, and I wanted to make sure that boss battles were at the core. But yeah, but beyond that, like I said, we wanted to do something completely different, something more action-packed. I'd say we wanted to, I guess, do something about what we saw as certain weaknesses in Jolton. Jolton was good at many things, but it was not, it didn't offer a lot of like, if you played it once, then you know you can never play it again. If you watched someone play it, you basically were going to get the exact same experience as that person. There was no player choice involved as to how you would play. It was just like, okay, go up against the same boss with the same patterns and deal with it the same way. So if you were to watch a streamer play it, you'd be like, well, I'm done. I don't need to play it. Like it's pretty much is what it is. So it was a very linear, very sort of. It had like these slow-moving parts that didn't quite mesh as well as we'd hoped with more action. So in this one, we wanted all that variety. We wanted to have very little slow time. We were just sort of gazing at nothingness.
Right.
So I mean, you can play for a few minutes, and you never go 30 seconds, more than 30 seconds without getting assaulted by a horrible beast.
Yeah, it's interesting though, like how much streaming and like YouTube videos have changed. Maybe how we started off, just because.
You have to think about it. I mean, it's like like I was saying before, like we have these technical problems with something. We're still fighting away those problems on PS4. It's gonna be tight before the end of this week. But having streamers play the game and having it crash on that first day is not a good look. It's one thing to have people in their homes having problems. But I mean, it's an extreme example. Your game doesn't work, and that was a problem. That's a pretty good thing. But even going at the level the streamer isn't having fun, or dead time has to be talked through. You sort of have to really just keep on talking so that the silences are uncomfortable. So it makes us more responsible as to what the gameplay and watching experience is. I think it's a good thing generally, and it's a challenge. I'd say. Because I personally love Jolene, but it clearly isn't everybody's cup of tea. Most games are like that. You want to try and make a game for certain types of players, and streamers exist in that type. You want to and make it easy for them, make it easy to love, and that's it. So this game is a challenging game, and if you give it to someone who doesn't like Metroidvania They might not completely enjoy it. Yeah, just jump up there.
Can I jump up there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, it's not that I don't like Metroidvanias, I just tend to find them. Oh god. Very. We do have a question. By the way, they say judgment's reaction to budget. Have there been any changes made to the hunters?
You're going to come across the hunters eventually. The hunters in this particular region are, say, sniper robots that will shoot you through walls. That would be the simple reason. And they can shoot you through walls, and in theory you can, but you don't have a gun.
Right.
So you have to run around avoiding their shots, but you can't. You're kind of helpless to kill them because they can be like behind a wall in another screen, and so we've gotten some frustration voiced us about that. But as you play through the game, you see like those aren't rare occurrences. Projectiles throughout the game and enemies as well can go through walls, and you cannot. So it's sort of like the rules of the game can be kind of frustrating, and we understand that, but it is by design. It wasn't a design mistake or something we read, and it was something that we actively planned out.
Right. You didn't have to be in the same room with you, and they were a bit too effective in your job. It's supposed to be a difficult game.
It is a difficult game. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not a great player, right? Like, there's a certain pride in my mind having eaten children, and only just this past weekend was I able to finally play our game and finish it.
Oh, okay.
And there's a hard mode available when you start the game, and there's an insane mode that becomes available after you beat the game. I will never play those modes. It is a challenging game, and some of the critiques we've gotten since the beginning, since we launched this, is that it's tremendously difficult. And I think this is another sort of, I guess, game dev thing. It's like, if you're indie, you can only afford to do so much testing. Right? It's not market tested the same way as AAA is. You just can't afford to do it. So you want to pinpoint a good slice of the market that you're aiming for and have people from that slice, as many as you can. And we did, but I think we over-tested it with our Kickstarter backers, who were the people at the very core of the market. And so that makes it so that, well, they like tremendously difficult games, and they didn't find it that difficult. And these are the people who were like, you should make a harder movie, right? Yeah. I'm not that people. I don't need to be punished by it. I just want to feel like I'm accomplishing something. And in like the first version that this was launched, we were just kind of like a couple degrees too far in the we tweaked it the day after we launched it, and people reacted positively to that. But again, this is sort of like a game dev problems 101. It's like, you love your game. Like, after a while, you can't really see clearly.
Play tested it too many times.
Yeah, and I was the one guy on the team who hadn't been obsessively playing this the whole way through, because I was the one who had to make sure that media were going to cover it, make sure the influencers were going to cover it. I had to make sure that all our Kickstarter backers had the code that they had requested and whatever additional stuff they needed. Anyway, it's like crunch time happened when everybody else was just sort of polishing. My crunch time started then.
Did I just go backwards? I just did. Sorry,
yeah,
I interrupted you.
Like, if you check, say, the left trigger left trigger. Is it left?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot there's a map.
Okay, so
Okay.
you're gonna want to go where this thing is pointing at. So if you go a little to the left, there's gonna be like a generator room that you have to activate. So everything's powered down, and you're gonna hit that switch, and then everything powers up, including the defensive systems and including those sniper monsters.
Wonderful.
So good luck with that.
Thank you. I was curious though, when you mentioned the best parts to you, was it like the parts that the team thought was the best, or did you guys just grab it from like Steam reviews?
I'm pretty sure it was basically insane. Like, I mean, I haven't been working with games that long, but as I understand it, we all see the imperfections.
Yes.
No one needs to remind us about the imperfections. We kind of knew they were there when we launched, right? And you sort of make compromises in what you can change and what you can't. And you don't hope for the best, but you kind of see the positive aspects more than you do the negative. But it's always there, like a devil wears shoulders sort of thing. So we knew when we launched Joke, it was like, wow, there are some slow parts in this game, and we would see people stream it and see like, well, okay, this is every single stream that you see is the same game.
Mm-hmm.
So, say in Sundered, it's most every stream is similar, but there's a variety of player choices to make throughout the game, and the maps will suddenly change each time you die. And, aside from the boss battles, you're trying to make your way to the battery. So it's what I want to see is like we're heading off on vacation in May. Right? The half the team is already on vacation. And 4 programmers with the so when we come back, it's gonna be sort of like a post-mortem of what did we do good about this project and how can we improve, and what did we do less good and how can we avoid that in the future. And I think what happened with Jotun and then this project was here you're picking up a perk. So once you die or once you get back to the skill tree, you're going to be able to equip that, and it sort of gives you, generally a perk is going to give you a buff, but there's also going to be a drop.
Okay.
So this you can't switch on yet, you have to make it to another.
Will you guys be at PAX West? Thunder expansion packs.
Will you?
Not that I've heard. We're working on some secrets right now, and depending on how well the secrets go, we will be at PAX West, but for now, I don't have any information on that.
Isn't it like...
It's like... When
next week, the week after?
Yeah, wait. Oh, it is next week. Oh my god. Sorry, I was thinking of a different convention. No, PAX West. My
What's
bad.
happening right now?
Oh no! That's like my worst fear, to completely forget something's happening or mistaken. There's so many conventions, and I know PAX is huge. But
It is huge. Have you been getting PAX?
yeah, I've been to PAX. So it's huge, and now I feel bad for forgetting it was next week. But
PAX West is basically just as huge, except different. It's as if it almost feels like it's in a mall. Like it's on a bunch of different floors and several large rooms instead of one huge warehouse.
oh, interesting.
It's really like PAX West was my first big one.
Oh, okay.
And I enjoyed it a lot. Conventions are awesome. PAX was being my first.
That might have been a little bit. But yeah, will you be at PAX West?
No. As I said, we I'm gonna say we're exhausted, but we're pretty, we've been working hard on this game for 18 months. Finally brought it out. Had a month of tweaking and polishing that is just about over. I mean, the other part is going and selling your game on the show floor a month after it came out is not going to give you the returns that it obviously does when your game's out. Like you're still trying to get the word out, etc. And today, if we were to go at a show, no media wants to meet us because they're looking for the next thing, not the thing that's being out for them. And you know, as charming as we can be.
Very charming, can confirm.
Yeah, it just didn't make financial sense to be there or at Gamescom, which is a couple weeks ago. That apparently is I'm sure he's going to be
Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking about that too one day. But yeah, Blade, if you're ever at a convention where someone really spoke about that, do say hi.
Yes, please do. And this isn't me being cheesy or anything. It really is the best part of the job.
Oh, I agree.
Because there's so much positive energy in shows. People aren't there to be bitchy about anything. They're there to discover things, and they're in such a great positive mindset. And just being able to talk to us, the devs, that you can tell like it's an opportunity that people love. And you know, I've worked in a few other industries. You don't see this anywhere else. You really don't. And I think some game devs that have only been in this industry don't kind of take it for granted. It's like it's such a great thing to be able to interact with people who love what you're doing.
For sure, it's definitely my favorite part. Just because I feel like we're used to this, like working kind of like a computer.
Yeah.
And kind of just in the office, like, okay, hope this works, this bugs, like we get all the bug reports. Then you go to the convention and it's just nice. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the skill tree I was talking about. So there's a couple of things here.
Wow, it's expensive.
So you've been picking up shards every time you killed something or busted open a crate or something. So you have 953 shards that you can spend. So at the beginning of the playthrough, you picked up the deflecting shield, and that opens up this branch. The other circles are going to be the other powers that you pick up throughout the game, and that'll open the bigger branches. So for the moment, you have to fill in that first triangle, the blue triangle, 3 times, and that'll open up the next 2 branches. And that's it.
These are always, oh man. Oh wait, I have to do it 3 times. Oh no.
Yeah, you have enough for all of it. So yeah, this is the central thing of Sundered. You're going to die, you're going to get more powerful each time. And when the game's really, really working its best, you can feel yourself getting powerful.
Yes, for sure. I do like that there are so many branches. I'm also one of those people who likes to like hoard resources all the time.
In earlier builds of the game, if you didn't spend everything, you lost it.
Okay.
But that's well, and the other thing I would mention is that shining circle there. That's the perk that you picked up. So if you wanted to equip that, you click on it, and it'll tell you what it is. So in exchange for less shards, you're going to be picking up more potions. That's basically what it is.
I refuse.
I'm not good. I'm not big on perks myself. I by the end of the game, you really have to use them. But drawbacks are not something I really go for.
Same here.
So this is it. It's you're gonna have to find your way back to that switch again.
Right.
And once you kill the horde that spawns when you hit that switch is done until it's gonna be forever. Okay, so and it'll create shortcuts, so we don't have to go through that whole thing.
Question about the map. I know the map changes when you die, but it's only the small rooms on the way to the major locations which remain in the same place. What was the thinking behind not making it truly random every time?
Well, I was saying we do want to have an immersive world, and we want to tell a story. That's another part of it. This is Esha's story. She's been stuck in these caverns, and yes, it's the map changes each time, and it's sort of built into the lore. But if you want the quest to have any meaning, compared to say a Rogue Legacy, where it's just like, oh, well, your ancestors are there, basically it's just built. We did want to tell a story. We did want it to be to get to that point where you're resisting or embracing the power that's given. So that's what it is. Like any one of these powers that you pick up, the shield or the other ones that you're going to get, you can corrupt if you want, and that power will become a dark, eldritch, powerful version of it. But you're corrupting your character as well, and you're becoming less and less human as you do so. So for that transformation to have meaning, well, we want to be able to tell these bits of story. So half of these rooms that are always in the same place are so we can script a moment. Like we want, say, the lore to be told, and we want the boss to be telling kind of a story of its own, and that progresses the story. So that's the main thing. Like if it was all completely random, it would lose some of what we were going for. That's the way I put it.
Okay. Now, you said, yeah. So I remember reading a little bit about it, and description did say it was a little bit Lovecraftian or inspired by it.
Yes.
And I am interested in that because, obviously, our most recent release
Yes.
is Lovecraftian inspired.
Yeah. And is yours similar in the sense like you're not doing tentacles, you're doing thematic.
Yes.
Sort of, yeah. So same thing with us. Like so when we were conceiving the project, half of it is okay, what kind of game do we want to make? And the other half is honestly like what do we think is cool. And Lovecraft is cool. There's later on you see it a little more. We think say Alien is cool, and you want to take these elements but not be say tied to specific lore or characters or concepts. So anybody who knows Joking, like we did our homework on Norse mythology, and it was kind of I'm not going to say it tied our hands a bit, but it did make it so that we couldn't, tell whatever story we wanted to or do anything we wanted. So in this case, it's like, okay, we're taking inspiration from themes of madness and corruption that are prevalent in the past work, but we're not just swarming you with Cthulhu and tentacles and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of, say, references that anybody who's familiar with Lovecraft will pick up on, either textual or otherwise. But it's Lovecraft inspired and Lovecraft indebted. Say.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times when people think Lovecraft, they always think tentacles. Like
it's a very sort of powerful, mythos, I guess, that, if you want to do shorthand for what it is, like, just point at this horrible tentacle monster, and that is part of it, but it's, we really wanted the kind of the feeling of Lovecraft instead of the monsters per se.
So was the resist or embrace idea kind of the beginning of, I guess, the plot of Sundered?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, it's more like where did the gameplay idea start and where did the thematic idea start? Because half of it is like, okay, we want meaningful player choice, and so if you you're setting it in this kind of Lovecraftian universe. What does that mean? What does a choice mean? Is it really a choice? Is it not? So yeah, it was how can we bring this idea of player choice into this thematic universe. Yes.
Those are the snipers, I assume.
Yes.
God.
I mean, in this particular room, you can go in and get them. But sometimes later on, they're going to be on the other side of the wall.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's color time. How many different enemy types are there?
I'm gonna say 15.
Okay.
But there are basically something like, say, 7, 8 in a given game. We've seen 4 so far, or more.
God. Okay. It's dodge. I like the dodge.
Yes. Always use the dodge.
Oh, hey, Satora. And dodge, seal, train. Oh no, I can't read. Sorry, I'll say hi to everyone in chat. Okay. Got one. Oh no, there's more than one.
So you're sticking in the same place.
Yes. Oh.
And they're just turtles.
Oh, now you're feeling Do you have a favorite enemy?
I'd say that the enemies in the second region are like in this first one. I like the fact that there are 2 factions in this game. Like one is more of a scientific military faction, the other is cultists that have, I don't know, basically being infused by the dark power, right? So they're all tentacly monsters. Yeah, so there you go. So now you've beaten this particular room. You never have to beat it again. This that you've activated. This has also unlocked the switch next to the where you start off. Like this thing is battery is now full, so you can use that. So yeah, it's classic Metroidvania in that fashion. It's like there is some backtracking, but you are progressing forward all the time and creating shortcuts through the world so that you don't have to backtrack too long.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Weren't you practicing these few days? I told our Discord that I'm very bad at Metroidvanias, so they told me to practice. I didn't practice. Sorry guys, I had other things to do. And my fingers would have been all over the keyboard randomly, hitting keys wildly if this was me playing.
I would, I don't know, I guess, I wouldn't recommend playing with a keyboard unless you do platforming really well with keyboards. I do not. It's a special breed of person. You can go hit that switch.
Oh.
It wasn't active before, but now you can.
Okay, how long was this in development? Because I'm just thinking if everything was made by 4 people, the art anyway, specifically, not even counting programming and all that. How long was this in development?
18 months.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Again, like our...
that would have been way longer.
Yeah, well, our teamer, especially our animator, is a beast. I don't know how he.
What are you feeding them?
I really don't know what he eats in the morning. You can get this kind of output consistently all the time, and then I mean that's the head animator. There was another animator called Simon who was on the project as well. He did very good work as well, but. I sort of like the core team that has been on the project since day one. They're so incredible.
Yeah, like this is. It does not look like you guys. Like it took 18 months. Oh no!
I mean, it's a point of pride. I won't lie.
Yeah.
did our best to get this out as quickly as possible while maintaining that level of quality. But again, it's like when you get towards the end of the project, you have to make compromises and decide, okay, well, something that might have been part of the game when you thought about it 2 years ago, well, now it's just not really there.
Oh, I'm getting hit. I feel like I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah, you should go where to that big shiny mask.
Big shiny mask. How is the development of Sundered different from how you approached it?
It was actually, there are a lot more similarities than there are differences. And there's a couple reasons for that. It's the experience on Jotun was a very sort of specific thing. We started the project on Kickstarter. Like most of the project didn't exist right when we brought it to Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter backers helped us shape the project in a certain way. This time around, we were like a year into development by the time we brought it to Kickstarter. So the proposition that we were making to the prospective backers was, well, help us polish the game instead of help us make the game. So that is a main difference, but the rest of it is basically the same sort of, I guess, let yourself be inspired by the best examples of this. That's what we did with Jotun as well. We focus in on 1, 2, or 3 main games that we think do certain things very well, and take that and try and make that solid, and then build upon it. And that's basically what Sundered was in a nutshell. We did pretty well in that respect.
Flat-footed Fox says, "Yay, Sundered! I love this game." Yay, did you beat it? Flat-footed Fox? It is really fun, despite me not being great at Metro Game.
I don't see that. I don't, is there some sort of suckiness that is yet to be demonstrated?
I mean, you know that one part where I couldn't get up? Like, that's because I didn't realize the pipes, you could jump on them. And then it happened, and I was like, oh, that's what he meant.
No, that was one moment in a half-hour play.
Fair enough. Maybe I'm better than I thought this.
But again, I'm letting you demonstrate how crappy.
Watch me run off hurt myself. I'm curious as to, well, I mean, I guess that the lore will be revealed more, but like these giant statues.
Yeah.
Names and all that. Ooh, yeah, achievement.
Yeah, so, I mean, basically, the gist of the story is that long ago, the world was falling into ruin, and there was this military faction that wanted to fix it in a certain way, and there was a sort of millennial cultist faction that
millennial cultist
didn't necessarily want to fix it. They wanted to bring their god into the world, to sort of cleanse it, right? And things didn't go well. There was a war, a portal was opened, eldritch energy had flooded into the world. Everybody got monstrous in these mysterious caverns, and centuries later, you sort of stumble into it, and so this evil power that tries to pretend it's your friend is possibly doesn't have the most honorable intentions.
How big is the Thunder Lotus team?
Let's see. At the peak of the project, we were 12 people, and that includes me, and I contribute absolutely.
You contributed. Marketing counts, community counts.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
But you know, and I've said this about finding it consistent. It's really easy to do this job if you like what the team is producing. Right?
Oh, for sure.
And basically your job is to tell people how awesome the music is. It's like, okay, great. I could do that. I could do that really well, actually. But so you know, you have supreme confidence in whatever your team is doing, and a lot of what is going on behind the scenes sort of flies right over your head because well, it does for me because I have no actual development experience to speak of.
I'm in the same boat. We're in the same boat together.
I had I have a BA in teaching and stuff, right?
I have a BA in sociology.
So
Hello.
and so when people ask me, so what do you do with that BA in sociology? It's gonna be the same answer as apparently you go and work for a video game company. Don't use your learning for anything specific.
Until an East Asian game that Thunder Lotus wants to make comes out,
For sure.
and you're their key person.
But as it is, it's more like, well, I take away from my studies just the critical thinking and the way of working. Otherwise, it's been a consistent learning experience working with this team. It's very enriching.
See what you mean by the sniper. No! Oh, okay, can you like explode a little bit?
Yep.
I'm trying to calm. No, I forgot about my health. It's okay, I'm at MSAE designing IC circuits. I do IT work now. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
An MSEE designing IC circuits? Do you know?
Please explain as if we are ignorant.
Yes, we are ignorant, so do explain it.
But pretend we're ignorant. We're not actually.
Okay, fair. Oh, I didn't pick up any other. I'm so interested in all these. So I'm curious, I don't know if you know, but has the team how much has the team play tested this?
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like we have we have one QA guy who does nothing but play the game over and over and over again. And finding those undocumented features that we may want to take out of the game. And that guy was like, I must have logged 1,000 hours more.
Can we just say QA is just so underappreciated sometimes?
It's crucial. I mean,
yeah.
Even with you know one guy playing around the clock, it isn't, say, thousands of people who are getting it in their homes and playing on their end. So it's like you do it as well as you can, but basically without the quality assurance guy, you're screwed. It's absolutely crucial.
MSE is Masters of Electrical Engineering.
Oh, learned something today.
Yes. Were those there before? I could have sworn they were. I could have sworn they were. I had a question and then I totally lost it because I was stupidly dumb. We all have weird degrees we don't use anymore. The co-founder of Clever Plays has a PhD in biology and genetics.
Oh yeah.
So I was surprised when I was like, oh, now you make games. That's pretty cool. And that's really interesting. That really changed.
It's true though. Like it's, you know, to anybody who this was a choice that I made. It's like I could be theoretically working in my field.
Yes.
But you know, I don't this is what I want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, it was basically, okay, what am I doing with all my free time? Okay, I'm playing games. So why aren't I working on that? It just makes perfect sense.
Exactly. And I think it helps that games have just evolved so much since the early days, especially since Flash games. Which, by the way, I love Flash games. I kind of miss them.
They're still there.
Yeah, I know, but they're not as popular anymore. I remember Congregate being like my website. I was always on it. Oh,
It's a trap.
Oh. I like that. I just love discovering things in games. Go with your passion. Great. You still need a certain amount of expertise. Well, not expertise. Oh my god.
I think passion is the right word. Like if you're passionate about something and are reasonably intelligent, the road might be long to get where you need to go, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Please. No. No. Oh god. Oh wow. Time has passed. But I guess that's good because that means we've been having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys have any last minute questions for us, please throw them into the chat. If not, we'll be wrapping up super soon. And as a reminder, this is Sundered. You can get it actually on Twitch right now.
Do it.
Right, no, just do it right now.
Drop what you're doing. I don't care what you were writing into the chat. Stop writing.
Stop. Just buy it. And if you already have it on Steam or wherever, buy it again.
Buy it again.
That's the main message I want you to take away from this.
Give it to your friends or enemies, whichever, and spread the love.
Yes. Give it to your enemies and spread the love.
Yeah, why not?
Sure, I mean, they might not be your enemies anymore.
Exactly.
That's very nice. You can follow Thunder Lotus at twitter.com/ThunderLotus.
Yep.
Okay. No games
No,
at the end. Just Thunder Lotus.
On Facebook, it's Thunder Lotus Games. On Twitter, it's Thunder Lotus.
And nothing else, I believe?
Well, we got our website. We do have a blog on there, so it's thunderlotusgames.com. And yeah, those are the main channels. We got a YouTube, obviously. We got a Twitch that we're very seldom on.
Mm-hmm. But it's there.
It's there. You could go ahead and follow it right there. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, throw Twitter in the chat. Thunder Lotus. Go, yeah, Thunder Lotus. Go, you guys. Be free. And we'll just play a little more in case you guys are typing out questions and we're busy buying Sundered as we ordered you to. But otherwise, oh, hey, Gouda on Mixer. Love both of these games. Yay!
Yay!
What are both of these games? Jordan and Sundered, or should we have Sundered? Or all three?
Yeah, let's say all three.
Let's see. Exciting.
Congrats on Shrouded Eye.
Oh, thank you.
It was last Friday.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. We also had some bugs during streams, and we were like, oops. That's really fun.
But generally, the reaction has been super positive.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, many of you guys have played Shrouded Isle. Thank you for supporting it. We were blown away by, honestly, its small success. We were definitely not expecting it to do as well as it did in its first week. So yay, thank you guys. The Shrouded Isle and Sundered, I haven't played Jordan yet, unfortunately. You should.
Yeah.
You had a free week, I remember.
It had a free weekend about the time, coincidentally, when we announced Sundered's launch date.
Oh.
We had a joking free weekend.
Did you plan that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We got.
Not really fun.
Yeah. Let's just say that all these marketing strategies are happy accidents. Stumbled upon.
Yes. Wait, wouldn't it be better if you attributed it to your skill and knowledge?
I'm not one to toot my own horn.
Oh, okay, then I'll do it for you.
Wow!
Yay! Yeah. But otherwise, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm not looking at the game right now, but let's hope I'm not dying. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, they are at twitter.com/thunderlotus for TikToks. And thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next week. And I don't have a guest yet, but I'll let you guys know. All right, see you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.